I'm Paul Begley. Go to Matthew 24. Read these scriptures. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All of these are the beginning of sorrows. I'm Paul Begley. I want to speak to you about the Madrid Fault. The fault line that runs right along the Mississippi River. Quickly, let me show you something. This is I want to thank Sir William Henry, who sent me a tremendous amount of documentation, including FEMA purchase orders to prepare for the greatest catastrophic event in the history of America. Would make the Hurricane Katrina look like a blip on the screen. Look at this. This is a report you can get your hands on. It's from the Virginia Tech. It's called the New Madrid Seismic Zone Catastrophic Earthquake Response Planning Project, put on by FEMA. It's completely been analyzed. Now, in the midst of this is some very pertinent information. Number one, I'm going to show you a map. This is the Madrid Fault Line. You see the states. There's Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri. Right there is the Mississippi River. This area, as you can see the color differential, is the highest area for casualties. Now, if this huge earthquake, which is being projected, should strike at 2 a.m., where you see the red would be the highest amount of casualties. The yellow would be second, the light green, and then the green. If you want to know what those totals would add up to, there are approximate 85,786 people or casualties would occur. Of that, the deaths would be over 3,500 deaths. The reason for all the high casualties in this area, injuries and stuff, is because flooding, cities, buildings collapsing, and all the different things that would happen. Matter of fact, let me just share this with you. You're saying, Paul, are you serious? I'm serious! Here's the deal that you need to really focus on, the conclusion of this report. Will you give me a moment here? I'm trying to pull this together quick. All right, here we go. Here's what the conclusion of this tremendous... First of all, let me just back up and say to you that in May of 1811, the worst earthquake in the history of North America took place. It reshaped the Mississippi River. We're on the bicentennial of that. May 2011 is 200 years since that great earthquake. Scientists say that the seismic activity is pointing toward another great earthquake along the Madrid Fault. And the question is, based on the Virginia Tech estimation and the conclusion of what will happen, is so catastrophic, it's mind-boggling. It makes Katrina look simple. It's unbelievable. This is worse than 9/11 you ever dreamed of. Worse than Katrina put together. And every earthquake, and even the ones we had in San Francisco in the late 80s. Let me show you something. Conclusion of the earthquake basically is this. Nearly 715 damaged buildings. 3,500 damaged bridges, severely enabling roads, air, and rail travel, river travel. It would leave 2.6 million households without electricity. Are you serious? That's insane. And 1.1 million households without water after the event. Nearly 86,000 casualties, severe injuries, including 3,500 fatalities. That's more than 9/11. Severe congestion on major interstates and around St. Louis. We're not talking about a traffic jam either. We're talking about immobility to move. Memphis, Tennessee also. It would require over 42,000 personnel required and over 1,500 search and rescue teams just to find the bodies. Over 730,000 people would be displaced immediately. 215,000 people would be seeking shelter immediately. And within 3 days, 7.2 million people would be displaced. This is insane. Now, the Bible says in the last days we're going to have earthquakes in different places. But these are just the beginning of sorrows. And folks, if the Madrid Fault Line earthquake hits, as it is being projected and pushed by FEMA. In my hands here, I have, these are requisitions by FEMA for supplies. Here's one. For 7 million people, meals would be what would be needed. You can see the quality, what they need. They want meals that would, there, 14 million meals per day. That's 2 meals a day for 7 million people. Because we told you over 7 million be displaced. This is a purchase order right now by FEMA requesting it. Here's another one. This is for 210 million liters of water per day for the drinking water for 10 days for 7 million people. Blankets. 14 million blankets per day. 7 million people. Body bags. Underwater body bags being purchased right now by FEMA, preparing for this catastrophe. You see, these are some of my sermons. Pretty soon I'm going to have a website available, so you'll be able to get your hands on, these are live sermons that I preach at my church in Knox, Indiana. Powerful. 30, 40 minutes. Not talking like I am right now. I mean, I'm preaching, people. But let's get focused on this Madrid fault, because some people believe the government is going to do this on purpose for population control. The New World Order. It's called control by chaos. Creating a nanny state to where we can't survive without them feeding us, giving us water. Are we headed down that path? Is this the New World Order? Is this what the Illuminati folks have been talking about? Is this what Jesus meant when he said these are just the beginning of sorrows? I'm Paul Begley. If you're not saved, I'm telling you, I keep saying this all the time, I'm telling you, it's time to get saved. It's time to get saved.